you saw the movie Wild, or maybe you read the book, and you think that Cheryl Strayed was onto something. I want to ditch my job, get out of the city, the bad traffic, the impossible housing prices, and go out into the wilderness. I want to go for a long walk in the woods and discover myself. Except that a long walk in the woods here in the United States means a lot of dirt and camping and bears. If this is a turnoff for you, and I guarantee it was for me, I have discovered a much better option. In a word, Europe. Specifically, a 900-year-old network of trails that crisscross Europe called the Camino de Santiago, the Way of St. James. This was originally a medieval Christian pilgrimage route where people from across Europe would travel across France, Spain, and Portugal to the city of Santiago de Compostela. Today, hundreds of thousands of people from around the world are still walking this route. People come for a few days, a few weeks, or if you're an overachiever like me, a few months. In 2015, my husband Eric and I took 3-month sabbaticals from our jobs, turned our apartment and our cat over to my sister, and set out for our very first trip to France. We arrived in the city of Le Puy-en-Velay, put on backpacks, and started walking west. 79 days, 2 mountain ranges, 3 pair of destroyed shoes, and 1,000 miles later, we arrived at the Atlantic Ocean and walked right in. To answer your questions, thanks. To answer your questions, yes, we were still married at the end. I think we even still liked each other. And no, this wasn't some spiritual pilgrimage trip. Everybody walks a long-distance road for their own reasons. For me, I was burned out. I run my own consulting business, and I'd been spinning my wheels. At the end of a month or a week or a year, it didn't feel like I was doing anything real. When I found out about this, the opportunity to walk on Roman roads, to be part of history, to move at a human pace across 2 whole countries, that felt real. But I've got to tell you, I had read that Wild book, and it didn't do anything for me. I'm not an outside person. I think yoga is an extreme sport, and I didn't own a sleeping bag. I don't like to suffer. But still, and the Camino de Santiago, it's not suffering, but it's not a walk in the park. We walked 15 to 20 miles a day over all kinds of terrain, through all kinds of weather, day after day after day. You guys, I walked over the frickin' Pyrenees mountains. But at the same time, I also walked through villages and cities every day that met my material needs. I slept in real beds every night in guest houses and hostels. We broke up those walks with coffee and croissants. And at the end of every day, 3-course meals served family style with lots of wine and lots of good conversation. I slept in real beds every night. I took showers every day. I ate well. I drank well. I saw beautiful things. And I did it all on a budget that supported that sabbatical. I spent less money on a week in Spain than I would spend for a nice dinner for 2 here in Capitol Hill. But it's not about the money, and it's not about the mud. It's about the people. This is my family in France. We got to know each other over the course of weeks. We saw each other almost every day. They're from 5 different countries and range in age from 23 to 74. A few weeks later, Eric and I spent our 14th wedding anniversary in this town in Spain with a Swiss salesman, a Mexican mother and daughter, and a Korean college student. For 79 days, I turned off all of my electronic gadgets, yes, even my phone, and left myself entirely open to whatever magical moments happened. I was entirely in the present. I saw parts of the world that most people will never see, not the tourist traps, but the corners and the places where people really live. And you know what? These are more beautiful. I got a chance to be part of a memorial service in France for soldiers who had been killed in a war, and I got a chance to be part of a parade in Spain with bagpipes and fireworks for a holiday I still don't understand. I slept in a 500-year-old monastery, and I cheered with crowds in a plaza when Barcelona won an important football match. If you're interested in making that kind of an adventure yours, I do blog at caminotimes2.com, lots of pictures, lists, and stories. And not coincidentally, this very week, Mountaineers Books released my first memoir about that 79-day journey. It's called Walking to the End of the World.
Oh.